Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so we're here and it is Monday, June 29th. I hope everyone is doing well, 2020, by the way. And if you're listening to this in a replay or on YouTube, my YouTube channel, we are, what I talk about essentially is evergreen, but maybe specific dates may not apply. But still, take away from the information what you can and apply it to your life in a way that can help you change your perception. Today by the way, Elaine Marolakos Edelson and with Astrology Mojo. And we are talking about the color blue, perceptions, and Mercury in retrograde. That's it. That's what we're talking about. And I'm going to post the article that I read so you can do your own research as well. The time frame that we're in, we're out of the Venus in retrograde, but we're in the post-shadow phase, right? And then we're in the middle of the Cancer, Mercury in retrograde, and there's fuzz on my face, and it's tickling me. Okay, and we're in 3 eclipses. Okay, we're still under the energy of the June 5th, 2020, Sagittarius lunar eclipse, the June 21st solar eclipse in Cancer, and this coming weekend, the July 4th, will be the lunar eclipse in Capricorn. And so what does all of this mean? Well, the planets don't make you do anything because we live in a cooperation with the cosmos. And when the planets make a move, you feel that. And when you make a move, it's reflected by aspects and angles in astrology. So if I looked at in astrology the angle between the sun and Jupiter, it would give me information. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the celestial orbs are doing it to you. They are a mirror, a reflection. And there's the portal that you can change. That's the illusion. What's in that portal? Well, it's whatever you see. It's whatever you choose to create. So come join me today. We're going to be talking about the color blue, which is fascinating. In fact, our kid brought it up to us, who is now in college, brought it up to us in high school. That was one of the conversations that they had in their English class, and we found it fascinating. So I did a little research, just a little bit, and I have some notes written because I want to refer to them. So that I don't, say something that's not true. So, okay. Well, the sun and moon, by the way, are not planets. They are celestial orbs that have a direct correlation to our experience here on Earth. Without the sun, we'd freeze. And without the moon, we'd tumble into orbit as we drowned in tsunamis. So when I look at the eclipses, and I'm playing with these astro dice, I'm about to roll them, but I don't want to do it on something on the desk because then it's loud. So when I look at the eclipses, I look at what part of your emotional self, the lunar eclipse, is the feminine energy. And I talked about that for each of the houses in the last show. So please listen to that replay because it's over an hour long and it's packed with information for sun and rising sign and also your moon sign. So the sun and the moon have this, I don't want to say elusive. Let's say the lunar eclipse is more elusive. The solar is right in your face. So it's like light being shed on the issue. And the solar eclipse in Cancer is showing you, refer back to the last show that I did, is showing you what you've been manifesting for the past 6 months. The lunar eclipses, now we're having a sandwich. Typically eclipses happen every 2 weeks apart, every 6 months. But we're also having this, I call it a sandwich. And that's 3 eclipses, 3 eclipses It's a little dry. 3 eclipses in a very short period of time. And so it's like, firework after realization, after what can I do now, after what's happening, right? And sometimes this stuff is wonderful and beautiful, and sometimes it's stark and sobering. And then comes the Mercury in retrograde eclipse. Now, all retrogrades are meant to show you how to step back in time. The past comes back in any retrograde, and we've got several going on right now, but I'm going to focus on the Mercury in retrograde, and it's in Cancer, so it's more sentimental. It's more of a defensive nature. Excuse me. And it's more about where you want to take that feeling state of yours and apply it to what's true for you. So now let's talk about the color blue. The color blue, now a lot of this information I've gotten from different sources on the web. One, this is Dove McKayley, PhD and a doctor, and who wrote an article, and I'll post that article. But back when, in the 8th century BCE, I believe it was, when Homer wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, it was epic, right? It was just epic. And it was very profound in its literature. But further examined by future literary folks, linguists, scientists, there is no mention of the color blue in the Iliad or the Odyssey. No blue. Now, this takes place on the ocean for a large part of it, right? So how is the sea described? Well, this is what's fascinating. There is, let me see if I could find I'll get to it. I'll find it. It's somewhere in here, but you can read about it. Here it is. The Odyssey was described in many ways. The sea in the Odyssey was described in many ways, like big and wide, stormy, silent. But the color was never described. Now, at the same time, approximately 5th century, between the 8th and the 5th century, because we're moving towards 0, the early pages of the Bible were written. And what's fascinating there is that there's no mention of blue in the Bible either. And then, so the researchers went back in time and looked at what was going on. Like, was it not acknowledged? Were the cones of the eyes not fully formed? What was not being seen or talked about? Now, black, white, and red were predominant mentions in Homer's works and in the Bible, the early Bible. There is an ancient Hebrew word called, I have to look at this one, Teklahet. What was it? Tekhelet, and literally means purple, but no blue. So, and that purple came from not mollusks, but seashells in Lebanon and in Israel and by the beaches. So then people start to think about, well, if the color blue is not mentioned, what is perceived in the sky? And some linguists take over, archaeologists take over, historians take over, scholars take over, and they start to look at this one tribe, in fact, was looked at 50, 100 years ago-ish. And I think it was in deepest parts of Africa, and then another tribe in Australia. And they were asked, one group was asked, once they got to know the language, and these were people who these tribes were not connected to any modern civilization whatsoever. So what happened is they were shown little like tiles, and the majority of them were green, and one or two was blue. And so the people, the indigenous people, were asked, what color are these tiles? And the majority of the tiles, of course, were green, but they stuck some bright, very distinctly different color blue tiles in there. And the indigenous people said, oh, they're green, all of them. So then the linguists start to think, well, if the words that we use and the perceptions behind those words are forming and shaping our reality, then it must be a tangible thing. It must be, I can hold up this malachite stone, which is green, almost black on one side, and green on the other, like an emerald color green. But I have a reference for it. I can understand the distinction between, but you may look at this and say, oh, it's more of an aqua green, or this is definitely black to your eyes with hints of blue. So everyone's perception is going to be different, right? Is this fascinating? So now more going back in time, and I'm reading this verbatim, in the ancient tablets of Ugarit, a port city in northern Syria, about 8th century BCE, where a lot of the biblical stories emanated from, there is no mention of the color blue in the artwork, in the stories, and so we look back many centuries to 100 years ago, and blue is just formulating. It's just starting. It's on the tail end of purple. So it's black, white, red, green, and then comes yellow, and then comes purple, and then comes blue. So how is this a thing? So if you talk to one of these indigenous peoples or the ancient peoples, and they are talking about something that's concrete that you can hold, and you can look at the sky and see blue. Well, you can see many shades of color in the sky at different times of the day, but for the most part, we today would look up in the sky and say on a clear day, rise and look around you. It's blue. But if I go to reach the air and touch it, I can't grab it. I can't hold it. Same with water. I can look at different shades of blue in the ocean or in a lake and say, that's dark blue, that's medium blue, that's greenish blue, that's teal, and then I scoop up the water. There is no color in my hand. It's just clear water. So the thinking became that it wasn't just the cones in the eyes that were developing, because that takes many, many, many thousands of years, but that it was the concrete, tactile experience that also determined color. Fascinating. Isn't that I feel like Spock. Fascinating. Come say hello to me today. We are talking about the color blue and your perception in a Mercury in retrograde. And so what else? This stuff it just gets to me. I love this stuff. Okay, so here, a century ago about the linguist Lazarus Geiger noted that ancient Indian epics, dating back to about 4 millennia, describe the ocean in many ways, but never mention the color blue. And this is true for Chinese writings as well. In fact, biblical red is described in many hues. Dark red, in Homer's Sea, it's called shani or pink, or sikra, deep red, and olive green, grass green, but not a hint of blue. So, yeah. And you might go, what? What do you mean there's no blue in the first Bible or in ancient texts? What do you mean? What about the artwork that was created in Egypt? There's very distinct, cobalt colors and aqua colors. Well, maybe they didn't see it as blue. Maybe they saw it as these articles are talking about, and these studies that were done. Maybe these ancient peoples saw the blue as purple or as a different shade of black, a different hue. And that the stars in the sky, according to Homer and some parts of ancient Indian texts, were called deep black, dark black, medium black, light black. So maybe they were shades of blue, but they just didn't have a word for it, right? So how am I relating this? This is an evolutionary process with our language through time and through literature. And when I look back, as we're meant to do in a Mercury in retrograde, when I look back on any experience that I have in a retrograde, each one is different, but depending on and based on the sign that it's in. We're in a Mercury in retrograde in Cancer right now. So wherever Cancer is in your chart, that's the topic that will emerge. For me, it's the work that I do. It's small animals, and our focus is on our small dog now, who is very slow. She's almost 16. She'll be 16 in September. And she's suddenly slowed down a lot. So I've got my keen eye on her. We even took our box spring off of our bed. She's a little 10-pound toy poodle. We took the box spring off of the bed and lowered our bed. We're on a platform anyway, so we don't need a box spring. So it's much easier for her to jump up on the bed. So when I look at what's coming back now, it's care. It's sentimentality. It's, oh, remember when our kid was little and we first got our little dog? We had a puppy. Remember when? Remember that? Oh, look at that picture. Remember? So for me, it's sentimentality. But when it relates to work, sentimentality with our pet. But when it relates to work, I'm looking at what have I been thinking about, writing about, talking about, experiencing with my people, with you on Facebook, on YouTube, with paying clients. And I come back to, it was very strong. It hit me a week ago, the color blue. The color blue is not mentioned in any ancient text because no one had a word for it, because they didn't have an experience for it. If they couldn't hold the thing, they could not distinguish between blue or green or black. Isn't that fascinating? Let me check in. Hi, Mandy, Cassandra, and Karina. Hi, come say hello. We are talking about Mercury in retrograde in Cancer and the color blue. So if you've missed the first 15 minutes, I want you to really go back and check it out because it's fascinating. I am going to post some of the links that I found regarding the color blue in literature and how the colors were such that black, white, red. So when you think about the basic foundation of survival, people in earlier civilizations needed to understand the difference between day and night, between safety and danger. Red was something that was associated with blood, with harm, with extreme physical pain, childbirth, being gored by some creature, being attacked by another tribe, right? So red was predominant. Black was the night, and white was the day. And then other colors came into play. Different shades of green, yellow, purple, and then finally blue, but not for many, many thousands of years. Isn't that fascinating? It doesn't mean that blue didn't exist. It means no one actually had a word for it, acknowledged it, or saw it, because you could not cup the water that looks blue in the ocean. You put it in your hand and it's just clear. You can't grab the sky, right? Fascinating. That's our perception. And in a Mercury in retrograde, you might look at something that you think is blue and someone else says, "What a beautiful purple stone." And you're thinking, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You need glasses? So, the thing about Mercury in retrograde is here to keep you in a place of acceptance and awareness. In acceptance and awareness that things may be something that you are not aware of. And so when someone presents it to you, and it might be about your behavior, especially, or your finances, or your family. Cancer, Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Cancer guides home and hearth, family, sentimentality, finances as well, real estate matters, and defenses, protection. So with the Mercury retrograde in Cancer, you might be thinking, we need more police, whatever. We need less police, whatever, right? Or now's the time to invest in whatever because, the price point and the stocks have gone down. So this is the time to do research. And my husband at Cancer said to me, I wonder if we might need to start researching, investing in stocks related to cruise ships or the travel industry, because now the prices have come down. And it doesn't mean we automatically throw money at it, but we look at what would be the future trends. And that's also an economic thing. That's a home thing. Economy in Greek means how you keep house. So our economy is being affected right now, and we're seeing changes. Europe may disallow the United States from traveling to European countries. So we're looking at what is home life, because how you keep your house at home is how you're going to live your life, how you make your money, how you invest, how you perceive something, how you express yourself to other people. Oh, I just want to check in. There's some people. I see activity. Becky. Hi, Becky. What is it? Where do people get these emojis? Like, what is that? A monkey? A rat? A mouse? That is so adorable. Where do you get these things? I'm so not tech savvy. Thank goodness for my husband. Cassandra, cool. Eileen, great topic. Yeah, isn't it a cool, fascinating? And when our kid came home from high school, I don't know what year. Dean, what year was it that we heard that there was no blue in literature? What year was that? Oh 6 years ago? Sophomore year? 7 years ago, right? So, but at the time I thought, this is fascinating. I have to research this. I have to talk about this with my people. How many years have gone by? And in literature. So, how many years have gone by? Let's take a look at my astrological watch. I need a battery for it. Talking about tech stuff. And finally, in this retrograde, it just kept coming up. It's like, I got to talk about it. Cancer, a water sign. Crabs live by the ocean in a water that could be described as black or dark red in literature, in the Bible, in Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey. What? I think that's fascinating. Okay. Hey, Mandy says, hi. Hey, cute emoji. Sticker packs. All right, I'm going to have to go there. Thank you. I have like a Bitmoji thing that I work with and play with, and I have so much fun dressing myself like a character. Kate's here as well. Hello, everyone. So during this time of the lunar eclipse that's coming up very quickly in Capricorn, if you have Cancer, Sun, rising, moon, or a massive planet in Cancer, or in Sagittarius. Well, let me cover this first. The Sagittarius lunar eclipse, Sag, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, you're going to feel it, what you need to let go of, right? We're still in that energy. Then comes, and how you perceive the color blue. And emotionally, am I blue? Yeah. So then there's the solar eclipse in Cancer, still in play for many months to come. And also if you have Cancer, Sun, rising, moon, Capricorn, Sun, rising, moon, Libra or Aries, Sun, rising, moon, those are the cardinal energies. And same goes for the Capricorn lunar eclipse coming up. Now, I have Capricorn rising. I have many planets in Capricorn, and I am feeling it in my bones, baby. Oh, and my joints. So I'm taking extra care. One issue. What? Okay, we're back. I don't know what you missed, but I was told that my reconnection was successful. So when I work out with Slotka on Wednesday morning, I make sure not to, because the cardinal energy is like, yeah, I could do it. Don't tell me I can't. But I know what my body can and cannot handle right now. So when everyone else is like doing weights, I just do my fists. I'm just lifting my arms just to stay mobile and loose, baby. Because, lunar eclipse in Capricorn. Ouch. You want to take care of your body. Now with the Mercury in retrograde in Cancer, it's where's your threshold? Where's your threshold? Where's your color blue? Where's the line that's drawn between one color and the next? That's what you want to ask yourself. And Mercury in retrograde, remember, Mercury is the planet that represents communication. So where in Cancer, regarding defenses, feelings, emotions, wanting to snap, also wanting to serve, but at the sake of yourself. Also the Capricorn lunar eclipse, wanting to serve at the sake of yourself. Where are you in conflict over, I should have done that. I should have given 157% instead of 137%. Even though my body hurts, my head hurts, I want to cry. I want to just take a nap. I want to lie down in front of a fan. I don't mean like your number one fan clapping. You can do this. I'm so proud of you. I meant like a, like, let's cool it off kind of fan. So you want to go slow and easy with your body right now, this whole month, June, July, August, and find something new. Maybe the type of exercise that you've been doing is hard on your bones and the vertebra and the space between that maybe you need collagen. Maybe you need a yoga. I just got invited I met a woman, a Cancer, who is a yoga teacher, and twice a week she does free classes. This is her karmic service. So I got put on her text list, and she's going to let me know when the next group of yoga classes are. Any level, outside, in the morning. I mean, come on, let's connect to the earth, Capricorn. Cancer, let's be fluid. Let's be supportive. Mercury retrograde in Cancer, let's think about the times we are not supporting ourselves, when it's flipped, when you're giving way too much to them and not enough to yourself, or it's just about you because of what you need and you feel afraid that if you don't grab that last plant at the nursery, you won't have basil next year. Come on, there's enough of everything to go around. If I see 3 things on a shelf and I really want all 3, I just take 2 and I leave 1, or I just take 1, knowing there's enough of everything to go around and there will be more. Okay? Consumer alert. There is toilet paper back at Costco. I was there yesterday. Water aerobics, someone says, endurance exercise. Oh my God, me too. I'm in Cap. And so you just got to watch now the lunar Sagittarius eclipse that we had June 5th is still in play. So you want to see where Sagittarius is in your chart, where Cancer, where Capricorn are in your chart. And if you don't have a chart, Dean is going to post a link where you can get your free chart and a free sun sign reading. And from there, a $37 Astrolife profile, 35 to 40 pages based on you. It's a minimal investment, but it will last you a lifetime. I wanted to make it affordable for people. And it comes with bonuses, and it's got planetary placements and alignments and houses and, full of good stuff. Mercury in retrograde, moon void, of course, that kind of stuff. So think about that. Dean will post that when he's done making his salad in the other room. Okay, we've had huge winds here in Arizona, and literally, no matter what I do with my hair, I feel like I'm windblown. I have, talk about that fan. I have windblown hair. So I'm not even going to, I comb it, I brush it, I twirl it, I braid it, I stick it up on top of my head. Yeah, it's good. We're all good. I'm grateful for the wind because it's dropped the temperature 10 degrees. I'm so happy. So lunar eclipse in Sagittarius is where what comes up for you is that I'm not going to get what I need. So I have to go and focus on the lack, L-A-C-K, the negative, the extreme between spirituality or religion and cynicism and lack of faith. So that's what's coming up for the lunar eclipse. Now add to it, and the thighs are a big part of the body for Sagittarius, and the hips. So if you looked at your life and you said, okay, What if I could snap my finger and have that go away? What would that be? Tell me, what would that be? Would it be debt? Would it be a person? Would it be the aches or pains in your body? Would it be this unyielding feeling of sorrow, or I missed something, or I forgot to do something, or I am lost? What is that thing that you could snap your finger or wave your magic Harry Potter wand and say, "Begone, thing," because that thing represents the state of mind that you have, that you are attached to, and it's in a protective place. Some people nurture their wounds. You've got to take care of them. You talk about them at every turn. "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, I just feel so sad all the time." "I'm so sorry." "How else are you?" Aside from that, I have to be honest. If someone says, "How are you?" I go, "You know what? My knees are killing me, but I'm taking care of them. And other than that, I'm really happy and I'm very grateful." So it's a mix of things. You're never just going to be one thing. But if you focus on the one thing and stay on the one thing that is not a happy place, this is what the eclipses are bringing up. But this is what the Mercury in retrograde asks you to ask. Am I done yet? Am I done with you yet? Make sense? Does that make sense? Since I have several planets in my 12th house in Capricorn, and the lunar eclipse is right on top of them, I am taking Thursday off to meditate, to work on my body, to also download some new information for you, so that when I come back the following Monday, we'll see what's next. We'll see what's next and what's coming up for you. What I find is really powerful and very appropriate is that when your body is speaking to you and you ignore it, it's the same as being ignored by that person, that place, that thing. Because the projection is you. You are projecting like a movie screen. So all parts of you are going to be projecting outward. And what comes back is the reflection of those things. Some are going to be neutral. Some are going to be really happy. And, "Oh my God, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I never expected it." And then, but you were hoping for it. And then the negatives. It's like, yeah, well, okay. All right. Be that way. But I'll tell you this, because I've worked the problem. One day I will become a NASA physicist, but not in this lifetime. First, I have to understand numbers, and I don't. Numbers are your friends. Numbers are your friends. So my husband's trying to teach me. And the thing is that when you release the angst, defense, argument, whatever's going on in here through a trusted source, what happens is you magically rework and configure your energy so that then the projection changes, so that the mirror image, what the world gives to you, reflects that. So you could have angst with someone and say, "Oh, I'm sick of them. I can't stand it. They're this, and that." And then you stop and say, "Wait a minute. I've been saying that for 4 years or 6 years or however long I've known this person. And I've not spoken to them because I'm afraid that they're going to blow up in my face, or I'm going to cause harm, or I'm going to blow up. So what I'll do instead is work the problem on the inside. Do some journaling." Cancer always also rules writing women's and children's issues. So this is a great time to journal, get it out on paper, and how to transform it, how to move that energy out of defense into, "This is how I really feel. This is how I really feel. And then they did this, and then they did that, and then this happened, and then you start crying, and then you get angry, and then blah," and you get it out on paper, and you mitigate the emotional, DEFCON 4 inside. As you lower that, what you're going to then focus on is, "I am grateful for this thing, my life, my health, my wealth, my passion, my purpose, my glass of butterfly pea flower drink." The glass that my family bought me because I love Downton Abbey, and it looks so Downton Abbey, doesn't it? I have 3 of them. So, does that make sense? Once you work it out in here, you minimize the negative retribution, reaction, and then you get responses. You know, if you're expecting that thing from that person who didn't give it to you, turn around and give it to yourself. Give it to yourself in a kind way, and then release them from that hold. Because as you do, you reduce that angst, the anxiety, the defense, the need to whatever back at them. And then what happens is, in a lot of cases, they will come to you. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's been a year, 6 months. I'm so sorry. Or they don't come back, and you're okay with that because you're not judging. The Sag lunar eclipse brings up the judgment because it can be very cynical. On the high side, it's very spiritual, very magical, very, oh my gosh, let's go find a new culture and embrace it. Whether that's cooking or artwork or language or discovering the color blue in your life. What is the color blue in your life? In your mind, it's been gray. It's been brown, it's been black, it's been anything but colorful. And you can transform it into the color blue. Like I was talking about, if you've just joined us, we've been talking about the color blue in history and historical literature. And here we go. I'm going to roll the dice. Thank you, universe. Thank you, starseed. Thank you, blue. All right, a little advice for the rest of the week as we get through. Let me see. Today, so happy 4th of July on Saturday, everyone here in America. It is also the lunar eclipse at 13 degrees, 38 minutes of Capricorn. So this whole week, especially Thursday, starting Thursday, it's really going to get intense. So I want you to be aware. Thursday, the 2nd, and Friday, the 3rd, and then Saturday the 4th, Sunday the 5th, Monday the 6th. That stretch of time, be so present. Watch out twice crossing the street, whether you're walking or driving, riding a bicycle. Be present with your body, your mind, your spirit. Give yourself what you need. If you're thinking, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do that, I'm going to run 67,000 miles. Yeah. And you wake up and you feel like 110 years old, like I did this morning. Say, what do I really need right now? Do I need to be pounding the pavement? Do I need that? Or could I do a little yoga stretch? Could I, get a little hand massager and massage my, what do you need? That's what the lunar eclipses are asking you. Why are you not paying attention to your own needs? You plow through them like a cardinal sign, Cancer, Capricorn, and then in the middle of what you need, like a mutable sign, Sagittarius, Gemini, you just, I'm going to go focus on that because I'm tired of that over there. But are you dealt with it? Have you dealt with it? Just be okay with it. If it's just 1 or 2 things at a time. And if you're overwhelmed, then you just put everything in a box and you put it over there. And then you go deal with your feelings. Okay? And be kind to yourself. Especially on Friday, the moon is void all day. So we want to be, is it void? Wait a minute. No, Friday the 3rd, yes. Void all day. So be careful. Just be present. Be aware. Because you may not get a missive. Maybe someone sent you an email. Hurry, I need your help. My dog just fell. I don't have a car. I need to get, and you don't get that message because the technology is whatever. It's not your fault. You don't have to feel bad. And then if they feel upset because you didn't answer their text that you never got, or the email you never got, okay, the details are not important. What is the truth. Had I been notified, I would have come to your aid. Please forgive that technology got in the way. Instead of getting defensive and then reactive, We want to watch the reactions, people. On the stage of the world, it's going to get big. Grab some popcorn. Okay, I'm going to roll the dice for everyone. How's everyone doing? Becky says, thank you, Elaine. You're so welcome, Becky. Ronnie says, I think I'll hide. What's that mean, moon void? Okay. When the moon, this is an astronomical thing that I've talked about before, but if you're new to me, maybe you've not heard. When the moon goes from one constellation to the next, there is a period of time that it is essentially spiritually homeless. So that means it will be between constellations, but not in a constellation. And that is an astronomical, not just astrological, but an astronomical effect called moon void, of course. And it can happen for 2 minutes or 2 days. It can happen for 6 hours or 27 minutes. That's when the moon goes from one constellation to the next, but in between, before it reaches the next constellation, it is homeless. So what that time is meant for is spirituality, meditating, listing your gratitudes, doing wonderful things that make play games, to relax, to rest, to rejuvenate, to feel, to be grateful. And a good rule of thumb is not to begin anything new when the moon is void. You can look online. Judith Ryan has a listing, but make sure it's in your time zone of when the moon is void, and add 3 hours before and after the moon. If the moon goes void at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then by 10 o'clock in the morning, you start the process, because you're going to feel that, out of sorts or elated. And you just don't want to throw anything out because you might regret it later. That's moon void, okay? I hope that's helped. All right, I'm asking for information and advice for the rest of this week through the eclipse. The lunar eclipse in Capricorn. And Dean's going to post the link to getting your free chart and free sun sign reading. And this is a little astro advice from the astro dice of the celestial universe. Okay, what shall we focus on? Okay, so this is what it is. Hang on. Neptune. That's really getting in. You see that? That's Neptune. That's really getting into that spiritual place, that communal, energetic place. So that's what's happening. This is how it feels. Gemini. It feels like Gemini. And this is where it takes place. In your 8th house. Okay, now, this is what that means. The 8th house in astrology deals with the connection and portal to the dream world, the mystical world, the connected world. 8th house also deals with joint ventures. That can be sensual in nature. It can be through a spouse. It can be financial. It can be the ending process of emotional death, physical death, rebirth. It's the gateway, the 8. Okay? In Gemini, it's being thoughtful about your connections, about what's got you stuck in an illusion. That's Neptune, is the illusion, and also the dream, the ideal vision. So let's move away from the illusion with joint resources and partnerships and get clear on what your needs are and how to put that into action with insurance matters, with taxes, with sex. It's a healing place. So it's not about having sex, it's about healing. Maybe there was sexual abuse. Maybe there's a fear of being harmed. Maybe you're a widow or a widower and you just think, oh well, I'll never be, I live alone and I won't have that kind of connection ever again. We want to stay out of the extremes. Gemini can go to extremes. That's the, that's Aries. Help me. This camera is backwards. So there's Gemini. Okay? The twins. And it's about empathy. It's about using your mind and your spiritual know-how to combine the two, to bring together and bridge that world. We want to bridge the world between here, what we think is the reality, and the portal, what we know to be spiritual, and then open up to the miracle, the ideal vision. That's what that means. And no gambling. No gambling with your cash. Get the facts. That's what Cancer wants to know. What are the facts? Let me research it because I'm very protective about my investments. Okay, folks, I'll be back on Monday. Have a beautiful week. Stay present, stay sane, stay healthy. Actually, if you need to lose your mind and it's in a healthy environment, okay. Maybe that's a part that just needs to go. Then you lose that part and you gain a new perspective. Be well. Be present, be sparkly, and as always, I wish you peace. I'll be back on Monday, and I don't know if Dean's listening. Can you post the, he may be on a conference call. Well, I'm going to see if I can find it and then post it myself, the link to get your free chart and also your free sun sign reading, complimentary, and then I have to find it. I'm not finding it. Oh my God, technology. I found it. Hooray. Okay. I'm going to copy it, come back over here, and paste it. All right, there it is, folks. Okay, be well. Blessings. I wish you peace. See you on Monday.